Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. Today's show brings you Steve Heathcock and Lawson Smith, who are going to talk to us about the Children in Need song that they've written. Adam Conteray also joins us again to give us an update on Operation Christmas Child. And then to finish off, we have a beautiful vintage clothing from Nikki Forte from the vintage Vanity. Guests are Steve Heathcock and Lawson Smith, writers of the new Children in Need song. They're here to talk about this great cause and what they're doing to support it. Welcome guys, Steve and Lawson. Thank you so much for joining me on Cuppa TV. Good morning.
Good morning.
And aren't we looking very dapper today, gentlemen? Make an effort.
Make an effort.
Quite right.
Absolutely. Cuppa TV's got to be done.
Oh, well, this is it. Quite right. Absolutely. So, Lawson, I'm going to start with you because you actually met, didn't you, at Britain's Got Talent? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So tell us how did that come about?
We was just standing in the queue at Britain's Got Talent waiting for the auditions, and I seen Steve in front of me. He was talking, making his way like backwards through the crowd, like talking to people, and we just hit it off. Showed him a couple of my hip hop videos which I've got on YouTube, and we got talking.
And that was it, really? Because
Yeah,
you're a rapper, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a rap artist. And Steve, you're just the same. So you're in the queue.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably tell I'm a talker, so I was talking to everybody. But look, there was something about Lawson. We just clicked instantly, like, you know, and I spoke to him basically the whole time we were there. It was like 2 or 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they were like exchange. I showed him. I did an England video for the World Cup, 2010, and that was on Central News. Yeah. And different stuff.
Yeah, and then of course you just found yourself collaborating.
Yeah, well,
so what did you do? Did you see each other again during the process?
We just kept in touch.
What happened?
Well, we kept in touch, and I had this idea about Children in Need song, but because Lawson's modern, you know, like Eminem, Professor Green, that type of thing, down with the kids, if you like.
Yes.
I thought it'd be more a commercial spin, and it might sell the song better, getting somebody who's, you know, more modern. I mean, I sing stuff like the Kinks and, you know, stuff like that, you know.
So that collaboration then, was that good for you, Lawson? Did you think that would work?
Yeah, because it's something I've never done before. It's something new to me. Obviously, Steve being like into rock music and me collaborating with a rocker is something that's out of my box, if you like. So yeah, it's been a good experience.
But sometimes it's good to do that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just so what happened on the Britain's Got Talent, guys? I've got to ask.
Well, we didn't get through.
To be honest, I think I picked the wrong song. She did say, give me some advice, and they told me not to give up. Carry on, it's good, but not quite yet.
And how about
they said to me, I did Footloose, you know, because I do the clubs, and I said, you're a great entertainer, Steve.
Denise Williams sang
that. Yeah, and they said, you'll do well in the clubs, but you're not quite today, like, you know.
But you're here today.
Yeah,
we're still here today.
I mean, I ain't been for an audition for years, so that's because I'm more or less, because I'm out on the clubs anyway, I sing every weekend. Yeah. So, you know, but my girlfriend said, go for it, and that's why I met Lawson. Yeah. So sometimes things are meant to happen for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I probably hadn't been for an audition for 10 years. Yeah. And X Factor or something was probably the last one I did 10 years ago.
And for you, Lawson, tell us a little bit about your career.
My career started a few years ago. I'd say, well, a few. About 8 years back, I was in a hip-hop group. We split.
Is that based here in the West Midlands?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm actually from Bilston, so it was based around that way. I started rapping, producing them for the group. We split up, and I just, you know, started doing gigs up and down the country. I've opened up in Los Angeles last year, and obviously I've just won Open Mic UK, so I'm down in Southampton this week.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. Talking about development deals and stuff, so it's going pretty well. At the
and
moment.
is rap music really important to you?
Oh yeah, it's my life. I've been listening to it, you know, since as far as back as I can remember, early 80s, you know. So.
And was it something you were interested in?
Well, I appreciate all forms of music, but the more I've been working with Lawson, the more I appreciate it, if you know what I mean. Because Lawson's a very good lyricist.
So it's very poetical, rap, isn't it? Often rappers are poets.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what they're seen as,
and it's really just an expression, isn't it?
And it's like stories within stories.
Yes, that's right. And for you, Steve, tell us about your career.
Well, I've been singing about 20 years, like, you know, old time now, perhaps. But I mean, I started in bands. Duos and different stuff. I mean, I met Mel B. I got to the last 50 or 50,000 of a talent show, 2001. And but I've always kept in music, and then I released that in 2010. That's based on my own life, The Cynic. You know, the title track from that is based on myself.
And how do you think, guys, for both of you, the music industry is at the moment, Lawson? How do you see the music industry in the UK?
In the UK, for my genre, it's tough, very tough.
Why do you think that is?
I think the way that music is constantly changing in the UK. You know, it's hard to keep up with one genre. Like you go into hip hop and then 1 minute it's the big thing, and then you know you think, oh, I've got this album ready, it's gonna make, and then by the time you've pushed it, the genre's changed. So it's gone to like dance music.
And do you find that, you know, the sort of social media, and I mean, you know, the various radio stations do open mics and they do, you know, young enterprise schemes where, you know, people can just send in their music. Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think, are we having too much music on this, you know, social media, and it's all downloadable now? So do you think that's too much, or do you think that's a benefit to the music industry?
I think it needs a balance. I think there is too much downloading through Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and it's easy access, whereas back in the 90s or whatever, you know, you have to actually go physically and buy that CD if you wanted to listen to that artist. You know, so.
And what would you think about that,
Yeah, I
Steve?
think Lawson's got a good point there, you know, because it is good for new artists. I love to see new people, you know, you see people breaking through on YouTube, like Ed Sheeran, people like that, you know, so it is a good thing, but as Lawson said, it's a balance on it, and it is harder. Because like from the 80s, you had to actually sell physical copies of CDs, like Lawson was saying, like, you know, to get in the charts.
Because how, like, for your fans, Lawson, do they buy physical CDs, or is it mostly downloadable?
It's mostly downloadable. You will get the odd person, if the CD, you know, they know the artist is really good, they will actually purchase the CD.
And how about for you, Steve?
I've done physical and downloads, mainly downloads now, like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, this single's going to be downloaded.
I was going to say, so let's talk about the single then. So, Children in Need,
Yeah.
a fantastic cause. Of course, you know, that's going to be in November.
November,
So
yeah.
tell us about what you've been doing.
Well, we've been working with Barry Tones, so it's going to be released on Gotham Records on November the 6th, also, I think.
Yeah,
it is.
November the 6th.
So we're busy promoting.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
tell us about the song, because we haven't, you're doing the video, because we can't show that today, unfortunately,
No,
but you're going to
the-
come back.
Yeah, the video was shot by 3 TV from Birmingham. That's released next week.
And we got White D.
Yes.
who's,
Yeah,
Yeah, she's been on the show, DK Lee. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
been here.
Yeah.
In fact, she's got her own show on Big Sense
Yeah,
TV,
I mean,
so
yeah.
that's great. So she's supporting it then for you.
Yeah, she's.
Well, I
supporting,
think
yeah.
that's going to be beneficial for us. I mean, because she's obviously established, isn't she, as well?
Yeah.
You can't do us any harm by having D on board.
No, absolutely.
So
And what about the song itself? Is it rap? Is it
it's a mix,
It's
isn't
a
it?
mix. It's a mix about it. It's worked really. It's worked because it's like the instrumental for the actual single is a dancey kind of vibe, and then you've got Steve who's like the rock type, and then me the rapper. So it's all gelled
Because we're
together
teasing
well,
our
like-
viewers today, because obviously we can't show anything
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
But you know, you will come back, of course,
Of course,
and
yeah,
show
of course,
us
yeah.
the video when it's done. So as far as the single's concerned, though, is that finished now? Have you? Is it
Yeah, the single's
that's finished.
all
Talking of-
compiled,
yeah.
all
And
ready to go?
And Barry's promoting it for us as well, I like, at the moment.
Wonderful.
And I'm sending that to radio shows as well, everything as well, like, you know.
And what's the expectations of it for you both?
Just to raise as much money as possible. Obviously, we're not making anything from it. We don't want anything from it.
Yeah, it's all for
not
the kids, for
money-wise,
us.
It's all for the kids. So, you know, anybody who wants to donate or download it, you know, I don't know how much it's going to be at the moment, but everything goes to
But as
charity.
soon as it's been decided, all of the proceeds will go to charity. And why did you pick that charity, Steve?
Well, I had a tough childhood, to be honest. I mean, I was in care, I was in trouble with you know, sometimes you get in with the wrong crowd, you know, and...
So that was important to
it was
you,
important, like, you know.
to give back.
Well, there was nothing like children need in my day, was there, like, you know, so if everybody needs a mentor or somebody to say, you know something, these kids are all right. You know, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
I've had to, like, I'm a survivor. You know, I've had to make my own way through with some of these kids.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
don't get
they
that chance
don't-
today, so.
But with someone like Children in Need, they get a chance.
And was it important for you, Lawson, as well?
Yeah, it is, you know, my niece, you know, she passed away a few years ago, and, you know, Birmingham Children's Hospital, they helped, and that we donated a lot of money that went to that, so, you know, everybody's got a little piece of, you know, children in need somewhere along the line, haven't they, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, so for the video, tell us about that. That's very exciting. So that's going to be, obviously we're going to have D. Kelly in it. Is it going to be filmed where, in Birmingham, or?
We're thinking Stourbridge, a bit local,
Yeah.
a bit more local to Steve, you know, because he was the guy that come up with the track, so
Yes.
it's only fair, you know.
So you know, we're just looking for some videos at the moment, and we're looking at, but we're going to get some kids involved,
Yes.
obviously, because
Yes.
that's the theme, and it's, And I'm going to have a bit of light-hearted as well, we said, haven't we? Like, you know, with balloons and...
Yeah.
So it's got, obviously...
Because it's a song that you want, obviously, people to buy and to use and promote.
We want it to be remembered other than just for children in need, you know, maybe those, you know, a couple of months after it.
That's
like,
right.
And why do you think, I mean, Children in Need is, you know, a very big charity here in the UK, and quite rightly so. Why do you think it has such a popular appeal?
Well, I think everybody's got a love for kids, and they like, you know, like, they want to see the best. Charity begins at home, doesn't it? I believe, and you know, I think it's probably one of the best charities out there at the moment, isn't it?
It always has been, I think.
I mean, it seems to get bigger every year as well, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
And they make more and more every year.
There's a lot of people involved with children in need, you know.
And I think a lot of big artists are involved with it now. So of course, you know, once names go, well, you've got a big artist in your video, so that's going to be good. We're having our very own D.
I've not met there yet, but I'm excited.
Are you very excited about that?
Right. Well, I watched Benefit Street, and then she was, you know, I was saying to Barry, you see some people on the telly, and you just know they're going to do other stuff, and she's a prime example.
Yeah, and she's one of those.
Yeah, and she's amazing, and she's got a story to tell, hasn't she?
Yes, I mean, I think and that's good for you as a rapper, because you tell stories, Lawson, don't you, in your music. So how does that work for you?
I can obviously I tell my own life stories, but it's like reading a book. You know, somebody tells me being like, you know, the producer of the book or the author of the book, they tell me their story, and I could portray that into writing. You know, in that sense.
Because you produce your own work as well, don't you?
Beats. I've got my own studio at home. Everything, you know, it's all owned by me, so I get no help from no one.
And what's your ambition?
Just to be known, whether it be, you know, up here or down here, just for people to say, yeah, I like his music. You know, I'll support that. That's all I
You could do a
know.
rap song together.
Yeah, we could, like, you know.
There we are, you see.
Yeah, that's it.
You could do a rap song together. And for you, Steve?
Well, I'm out performing every weekend.
Yes.
And I mean,
so you perform all over, don't you?
Yeah, all over the West Midlands and everything. They call me the showman, because obviously if you come and see me live, I'm here, there and everywhere. But I'm a proper entertainer. Because, you know, a lot of singers now, I mean, Lawson's probably slightly because he's like hip-hop and that, but on the circuit, you know, like the stuff I sing, My Girl and Elvis and all that, a lot of singers interact with the audience, whereas I do. I think that's important.
Do you think that's important?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I get a lot of gigs, I think.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Because again, rappers do tend to engage with the audience just because of the nature of the song, of course, and the way that they sing it. And is it something, guys, would you ever consider sort of going out and doing some kind of gigs together?
Yeah, I mean, I've got Lawson up at a few gigs, and but we're on about maybe doing this song together as well.
Yes, and then do some gigs with this song,
with the song,
which would be great.
We're on about maybe collaborating on other stuff as well. Because obviously, when you do one song, we work. You know, we want to see how this does, obviously, but then maybe do some other stuff.
If there's one person you could choose who you'd like to collaborate with, who would it be, Steve?
For me, something like Paul Weller. I mean, because you know, I mean, that's the music I grew up on, and or Glenn Tilbrook. You know, that Squeeze. People like that.
And how about for you, Lawson?
Yeah, there's many artists for me, never ending, you know, somebody like Ice Cube or something would be really good.
Just somebody that you really sort of feel
that
for.
You know, got me into the listening to their music. You know, that'd be a dream. Like,
and I mean, that's the wonderful thing about music, though, isn't it? Because it brings you both together. I mean, you're both completely different genres, but you've come together and formed this amazing collaboration to do something very good for a very good cause, which is, you know, the wonderful thing about music, of course.
That's right,
And if you hadn't stood in that queue,
absolutely.
You know.
Well, 3 months ago, we was just like sat in Lawson's bedroom putting the track together in the first place, and now we're here today with you.
Yes, talking about it.
And you know, pressing everything. It seems to be like.
And what do you hope with this single? What are the hopes for the single when it comes out?
That people like it, and you know that they'll support it. You know.
And download it, and hopefully make a lot of money for the kids. I mean, that's.
You know, to see the track for for the effort that we've put into it. You know, just not another track. Oh, these two guys that have, you know, we've put a lot of work in. We're trying to push it. You know, so just hope they see the work in it, basically.
And maybe they might take note of it themselves. You know, the
people.
Well,
I hope so. I mean, you just
inspire people. Maybe.
You know, I mean, if you could just make a difference to one person. You know, it makes.
I mean, we've discussed mental health issues, for instance, on the show. Course, you know, and it's a huge problem with the young in the UK, and most of them have said that music actually can be a way that it actually helps. Would you agree with that?
I do agree, Monica. Yeah. I think it's an outlet for them, like, you know.
Yeah. There should be a lot more places where kids could go and, you know, learn music, in my opinion. I don't think there's enough in the UK.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Why do you think we've just let that sort of...
Do you think it might be to do with funding on it, which is bad?
Funding and, you know, I just think they see now America as the big place for music. You know, if you're not in America, then you're not gonna, you know, be as big and successful.
What are your thoughts on that, though?
I think that's, you know, in the UK it's just as good. It's just, you know, in a small knit community.
We have Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
We have Sam Smith. We have Adele. We have some great.
Yeah, we have some great artists.
And we've had some great artists in the past, of course. You know,
yeah,
with the Beatles, and you know, there's a huge amount of artists, and in fact, a huge amount of artists that are musical that come from the West Midlands, of course.
Absolutely.
So you know, but it's wonderful that you've done what you're doing, and I think it's going to be, you know, really successful for you, and I really hope it, you know, will be successful for you. And I want you to come back and see who else can be in the video. Who else would you like to be in the video?
I don't know, I think I'd like Lenny Henry because he has got that,
yes,
that kind of, you know.
And he's from the West Midlands,
yes,
and
yes. So if you're watching, Lenny, here it is. Oh, well, I wish you best of luck with it, guys. And you're going to come back, aren't you? So come back and join us then when the video's done. So maybe sometime in November then?
Yeah, just before it's released.
Perfect. So, that'll be wonderful. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
you, Monica.
So stay with us. We're going to take a quick break now, and we'll come back and join us in just a minute. Back to Cuppa TV. Now I'm joined by Adam from Operation Christmas Child, and as you're probably aware, Big Centre TV is supporting this fantastic charity, and he's here to give us an update. Adam, welcome back.
Hi.
It's great. We've got the boxes on the table. A very peculiar looking box. We'll talk about that in a minute, Adam. So again, great to see you. You've already been on and talked all about Operation Christmas Child, and of course Big Centre TV are supporting it, which is wonderful. Great, so how's it going? What's been happening?
Yeah, wow, it's going really well. We're still in the stage of getting boxes out to people, and then it crosses over in about 2 weeks' time. We then start collecting them, they're filled. But yeah, I've been to loads of schools, dropping off the not these ones, they look like that without the propellers. So I've been dropping those in, and then doing talks. I'll be doing a talk later on to the school here at 12 o'clock.
Excellent. So again, it's all about really just raising awareness, isn't it? And are the schools that you're talking to, Adam, are they engaging with it?
They are. It's everywhere I go, people love the project. It's just a matter of reminding and then doing a few updates, because there's certain things you can put in, like you could put in a solar-powered calculator, whereas sometimes the students will be thinking, well, maybe not electricals.
Yes, I hadn't thought about that.
It's just updating.
Yes, I'm giving new ideas to go into the boxes.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yes.
That's a good one, actually, isn't it? So what about wind-up radios?
Yeah, that's
Something
good.
Like that.
Yeah, wind-up radios. An amazing thing to put in that are really, really cheap. And now this sounds like an irony. Is a solar-powered torch. Now, don't get me wrong. You charge it during the day, and it shines at night. And you can get tiny ones. I wish I'd brought one. They're about that big.
Yes.
And they've got a little LED and a small solar panel, and it transforms not only a child's life but a family's life. Just that little light at night, you know, maybe to be able to read.
Yes,
you know,
just read or whatever. Yeah, just to see, just for safe.
Just a nip to the loo or nip down the road. You know, all those amazing, all those possibilities are opened up by
that we take for granted.
LED,
really.
And I think a lot of companies do them as giveaways, where you join up and they'll give you a free keyring with a solar torch.
Yes.
So,
that's great. Oh, that's brilliant. But you can't have any liquids, can you, in the boxes
at
liquids. All? So, so as long that pretty much is, you know, that's just one of the things I know you can't put in there.
Yes.
But you've been collecting the boxes.
Yep.
You know, we've been collecting them here at Big Centre TV, and you're giving your talks. But I wanted to talk to you about, because we spoke about Operation Christmas Child and what that actually is.
Yes.
But Samaritan's Purse is actually the charity where Operation Christmas Child comes under. So
exactly.
Tell me about that.
Right, well, Operation Christmas Child is a project of Samaritan's Purse, and Samaritan's Purse is in the UK and international. So on a global scale, Samaritan's Purse run other projects. One of them is called Turn on the Tap, and there's another one called Raising Families. Those two projects start after the shoebox appeal. So you can imagine you make your contact through your local partners in the countries. You distribute the shoeboxes to kids that really need them. But then you've had that introduction. You can then start to ask the questions to the communities. How's it looking with your water and sanitation? And a lot of the time there are problems. And these water, sanitation, it's one of the main factors that keeps people in extreme poverty. Without water, you don't have your health, and you can't grow good crops.
We do take
So,
water for granted
yeah.
because we have clean potable water that comes out of air
Yes,
taps. But of
yes.
course, not everybody, and even in European countries, Adam, that
Yeah.
they don't have that facility. And I think, do you think we take it for granted?
I think we do, yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked if I turned on the tap one day and there was nothing there, and I knew it was permanent. You start to worry, and it's a situation that a lot of children are in every day. They don't know where clean water is coming from. So that's one of the projects that Samaritan's Purse run, as well as a shoebox appeal. The other one's raising families. That's particularly strong in Africa. And it's literally about going into a community and finding out what they need that's missing to help them get their way out of poverty. And I saw firsthand a really good example in Zimbabwe. So can I tell you about that one?
Do, tell me the story.
Well, in Zimbabwe, there's a small Samaritan's Purse office that's set up each year to do the admin for the shoebox distributions. And the people working there noticed there were, I think it was 13 teenage girls that were sleeping rough in that vicinity. So in those blocks of town, they were sleeping rough. They had no home. And they started thinking, we need to do something about this to protect these children. And so what one of the one of the partners did is they started looking around at making a product, and it was a soap product where we get our washing up liquid and we just buy it from the shop. Well, they had the idea of getting bottles from a supplier, getting the different ingredients to make the washing up liquid, combining it, filling the bottles, and then selling it. And it was very successful, so much so that they used the income from making that washing up liquid to pay for a small house, which is now the shelter for these kids.
How wonderful
Yeah.
is that? So again, just small things, and we've got some photographs.
I've got some photographs of that,
which we're showing now to our viewers.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a wonderful thing when it's just a small kindness, really, and a small project like that can have such a massive difference.
Yes.
Do you feel that that's what Operation Christmas Child is, Adam? It's a big project, because obviously it goes across the UK, but it's just a small thing that people can do that can have such an impact on somebody's life.
It's the start. I'll give you an example. A couple of months ago, 60,000 shoebox gifts went out to Syrian refugees in the camps.
So 60,000.
60,000. And Samaritan's Purse have worked with UK government and other governments to deliver sanitation solutions and the flat pack accommodation and buildings, just to keep things going. Because when a disaster happens, like the Nepal situation, that's a disaster. But no one realises what the true disaster is. It's when sanitation fails. Within a couple of weeks, you have more people dying through hygiene problems than actually in the original disaster. For example, Samaritan's Purse went in there straight away. They got the sanitation systems in, drainage, portable buildings, latrines. Very quickly, they stopped the disaster becoming 10 times worse. They knocked it in its tracks. But you don't see that because it goes off the news.
That's right, and because sickness and diarrhea can kill.
Yeah.
You know, if you're malnourished anyway, it's a terrible thing, and especially when you haven't got, as you say, got the running water and the sanitation.
Yes.
And do you think Samaritan's Purse are? I mean, they've been around for how long? How many years have Samaritan's Purse been?
In the UK, Operation Christmas Child has been running since 1990, but Samaritan's, I don't actually know the exact date, but it's Samaritan's Purse work hand in hand with the Billy Graham Evangelistic Society, and so I believe he's been going 30 years.
Yeah,
but I don't know Samaritan's Purse itself.
No. But it's an organisation that people perhaps don't know too much about. But when you have Operation Christmas Child, it then brings more people to support them.
It does. It's a very public project, Operation Christmas Child, but it's a bit like an iceberg where we see the surface work going on.
So we see the boxes as we've got here and what goes in them, but we don't see what happens after that.
There's a lot going on, and that's why I'm a part of it, because I believe as a charity it's ticking all the boxes, and it's really delivering vital help to people that need it.
Now tell us about this helicopter-looking Christmas child box that I have on my table.
Yeah, okay, well I've seen some unusual shoeboxes.
Very innovative, I say.
Yeah, and just to have a bit of fun when going to schools to collect. You know, why send a shoebox through through the normal channels when you can fly it there?
Yes, that's
so
right.
what that is a a shoebox that can fly under its own power.
Wonderful.
Well, obviously, it won't go across the world, but it's just a bit of fun.
But it's just a bit of fun.
Just to raise awareness.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
again, we've got a little video that we're going to show to show. But again, it just is a way of engaging, really, engaging with the people, engaging with children, particularly would like that.
Yes.
And again, just to be a bit innovative, really. That's what,
well,
that's what you've said.
Innovation, and we saw innovation several years ago when plastic shoeboxes started coming in, and they're actually very useful. So you can use a normal shoebox, but you can also get plastic rectangular containers, like sometimes they're CD holders and stuff. And if you use that as a shoebox, then the child has something that they have that's more durable.
So you can use those. If somebody wanted to use those, you could actually use those.
Yes.
And also you've got your own shoeboxes that Operation Christmas Child have now produced.
That's right.
Where can people get those?
Those, if you want individual ones, Big Centre TV reception, and certain Shoe Zone stores have them as part of an outreach. If you want them in larger quantities, you can buy them because they cost a lot of money to produce. They're sold, and they're sold in 50s and 100s on the Entertainer toy store.
Right.
So if you want to do lots for the school,
so you can go onto their website and then you can purchase them. Because shoeboxes, again, it's a thing where we always used to have shoes in shoeboxes, but now a lot of outlets they actually take the shoeboxes away and you can't actually get them. Yes. So that's a really. Was that why they came up with that idea? Because they suddenly realised
it is, and they're also a standardised size because you can get 12 of this type of shoebox in a carton for distribution, whereas with other shoeboxes you can get between 8 and 14.
Yes, because they could be all sorts of shapes and sizes.
So it just makes it very efficient. And so I always say if you're going to do a shoebox gift, make it roughly that standard size, and it just helps with logistics later on.
The other side.
They still get the big
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And when you're working in the warehouses, Adam, what's the? I mean, I should imagine they're sort of gearing up now, aren't they?
They are. This is what's happening.
This is what's. So tell us what happens in the warehouses.
Right, in the warehouses, loads of lanes get it set up. There's a Solihull and a Walsall warehouse, and there's other ones in Birmingham. There's quite a few, and the idea is you set up lanes. The lanes are generally for age groups. So as the shoe boxes come in, which is what will happen in the next week or so.
Yes, they come in on the lorry.
They come in on the lorry. And then they're sorted into lanes of boy, girl, and the age groups, 2 to 4, 4 to 9, etc. And then they just go along, and the volunteers just check to make sure everything's safe.
So they don't take anything out, do they? No, they just check to make sure they haven't got any liquids in and make sure there's no sharp objects, I imagine. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. And no war-related toys as well.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you said about that.
And then they go along. Sometimes they're topped up. They're never... It's called respecting the gift, so we don't take things out. But what we'll do is top up.
So if something, it doesn't look quite
full. Say someone hasn't put a toothpaste in and they've got a spare one, then
you can put that in. Excellent.
And local companies, obviously, when they want to help, they'll provide tubs of things. So like there could be a tub of toothpaste, a tub of soaps, pens, and those will all be on the checking line. And so if anything's missing, it can get put in.
Wonderful. And then obviously they get sent out.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great to see you, and good luck with that lovely flying box. That looks amazing. And come back again and join us and let us know how you're getting on. All right, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it. We're going to take a quick break, but stay with us and we'll come back in just a minute. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. Now let's talk vintage. I'm joined now by two ladies who make vintage clothes and accessories their passion. Let's welcome Nikki and Rachel from Vintage Vanity. Ladies, hello. Is it like a saying? How lovely. So Nikki, you're the owner of Vintage Vanity, and Rachel, obviously in your beautiful dress today, well I say, so you're working with Nikki. But let's start. So Nikki, where did this all begin for you?
Well, very strangely, really. I came back to Stourport because my father's Italian, my mother is Scottish, as the accent tells you, and I've been living in Italy on and off. And I came back to Stourport, sorting out my son and daughter. And
was this just recently? Was this in the last few years?
About a year ago, yeah. And I went into this vintage shop, that I saw this beautiful black 1950s dress, gold, hand-painted. And I asked the lady if she would keep it for my daughter, and the lady said, oh no, can't do that, sorry, selling the shop. And I said, oh God, that's really sad because it's too expensive to just buy if she doesn't like it. And as I was going out, she said, well, actually, she said, I probably will be here next week because I think the sale's fallen through. And I said, oh. And somehow, madness, I said, really? Is it still for sale? She said, yes. 2 weeks later, I was standing in the shop. I'd bought it. Insanity. My partner said to me, "Did you get the dress?" I said,
I bought the shop.
As you do.
So literally it was a spur of the moment.
Was really, no regrets.
How wonderful.
Though.
I was
no
going to say,
regrets.
any regrets?
No.
So that was just over a year ago.
It was,
that
yes.
Right?
We've moved to larger premises now, which is fabulous because we've got space in Stourport. We're able to have a real good look at the dresses when you come in.
Is that important that people, when they come into the store, you know, to actually view and pick and feel the dresses?
Definitely, definitely. If you can imagine when you go in and there's everything coming on top of you, and you've got all these, there's such an array of colour in the vintage clothes. You just see masses and masses of material. So what you really want is to be able to take your time, pick your way through things. We do something called Girls' World, where it allows between 6 and 10, a group of 6 or 10 ladies together. We'll give you a glass of Prosecco, some little nibbles, close the shop, and you can play with the clothes. So that way you actually get the feeling and what you really like. You know, vintage is...
Yes, I mean, Rachel, let's just talk about you. So Rachel, how did you get to know Nikki?
It was through my mother. She was doing some sewing work for Nikki because vintage clothes, you know, they need a bit of TLC.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I've always liked vintage. I've always liked, you know, the times of the dinner dances when I used to see my mum going out in these elegant dresses, and Nikki's shop was just like, it was an Aladdin's cave. And this move to bigger premises, it really shows off everything.
So tell us about what you're wearing today. What year is this? Or perhaps Nikki, you talk us through what Rachel's wearing
This
today.
little cotton dress is a 1950s, very tightly belted. Doesn't have the full underskirt underneath it, but it's very...
Would it normally have in
It
the 50s?
could have. It depends if you were wearing it to go out shopping. You wouldn't wear it with the underskirt. But if you were going to party at night, you would have the fuller underskirt.
The big skirt.
Yes, the big underskirt. Right. So Rachel is obviously, she's going out for tea or lunch in this outfit. The fur, which is controversial nowadays because people say, oh my God, is it real? Yes, it's real because vintage...
in those days it was real fur.
If you're looking to actually capture the mood, you have to have the vintage mood.
And you've got, I mean, it looks so comfortable and it looks so elegant. And also, you know, does it make you feel that you want to sort of, I don't know, sit up and...
Yeah, you develop almost like a persona, you know, that you're... It's very elegant and you kind of...
And you feel that.
Yeah, you feel a bit more ladylike because nowadays it's a lot of it's for comfort and, you know, sometimes you need a bit of reminding, you know, that you are, you know...
A lady.
A lady.
And your beautiful hat as well. And again, was that classic of that era?
Yeah, very. There's quite a variety of hats that they always wore hats. I mean, they wore hats, gloves, and shoes and handbag. That was your mainstay. If all those were good, then the outfit came almost second, if you can think that way.
And in that time as well, it was almost, you know, if you have to have your hat and your gloves, a lady wouldn't go out of the house.
No.
Would they without the hat and the gloves?
They had beautiful gloves. They had all different shapes and sizes.
Yes.
I mean, these are a lot of the time they're just the little crocheted gloves, but they're so hard to come by now. And when you look at the sizes,
look at the stitching.
Yeah,
I mean,
and this is tiny.
Incredible.
This one as well.
Yes.
If you look at the tiny stitching.
See if I can fit my hand in there.
Yes.
I've got very small hands, so I might be able to fit my hand in there.
You're one of the lucky ones then.
Yes, I have. But
just
again,
persevere, you'll get there.
Again, just putting on a glove.
Well, if you look at your lovely outfit, you've got a beautiful blue dress.
Yeah.
It's really very lovely, that dress. But when you put this on, you're instantly starting to look more dressed and more vintage. You're starting to get your persona.
It is. And now the hat, I mean, it looks amazing. So when you sort of choose outfits, was that the thing in the 50s? Let's just talk 50s for the minute. Did you used to choose the whole outfit? You would never just buy a dress?
No, you would buy
have
everything.
To buy everything. And shoes as well?
Yeah, it wasn't a throwaway society either. So when they bought a dress, the dress was for the season. So they would consider that season, how are they going to adopt and adapt the dress to the different things that they were going to. So there would be hats, there would be, perhaps as well, with this pink hat here for the daytime, but for the evening they might just wear a little, they could swap it for just a little cloche hat, you know, with a bit of a feather on it or something like that.
And I mean, does it feel comfortable to wear?
It does actually.
Would you wear that out? Do you wear
I
that
would,
out?
yeah. It's something a little bit different when you go out. You're not going to see another person in the same dress. It defines you a bit more, and you feel a bit more, you know.
That is the wonderful thing about vintage, because there's only one usually,
That's
or
right.
two at the
Nowadays,
most.
definitely.
Yes.
But they handmade them. Then this dress has been altered. When I had it originally, it was a tiny
Yes,
dress.
because the other thing was that people were a lot smaller then.
And which is fine. But when I actually started to look at it, I realised that somebody had taken it in and it wasn't original. So we took it back to the original, and it fits it fits a lovely figure, like Rachel's, you know, a little bit fuller figure, and it's lovely because when the tiny ones, there's no bust, there's no weight, the waists are minuscule.
Yes.
You know, it's
we
very
will try
difficult.
Breathing
we
in.
see that. We see that.
So now you've got other. So that's the 1950s.
Definitely.
And you've got the handbag as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, and this is a classic vintage handbag.
Yeah, these handbags. This could be even earlier. Really, this crocodile handbag. That's the other thing with vintage. It is quite difficult to decide what date everything is.
Yes.
But you go for the look, the overall look. But these, again, it's crocodile. It's real. This one actually has a tiny little piece missing, but you can see in the overall look,
but it just
finishes.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Now at the moment, I mean, we've got many period dramas on the television, of course, and of course we have Downton Abbey, which is going through the 20s at the moment, isn't it? And you have something you've brought along to show me. Yes, and I've been looking at it here thinking, what are you going to do this? Now just explain what this is.
I'm not going to show you this actually. I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind, can we put this on you? Because I think you look terrific in this. Would
come
you mind?
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay,
Come over.
I'll shuffle over.
Come over and join me.
This is what they call a cloche hat.
A cloche hat.
Okay, and it means it's tight against the head. This one is all beading. They used to make them in different felts and different materials. This is from Italy.
Okay.
But we're going to try it and see how you go today.
This will be good.
This will be great. I know you'll
things I do for Cuppa TV.
I know. Well, I think all your viewers will think you look tremendous.
I will show my viewers. What do you think? Send me a memo. Oh, it just makes you want to go like this. Actually, that feels incredibly comfortable.
It is.
Now, again, would they wear this in the evening?
Yes.
Or would this be...
No, evening.
You wouldn't go shopping in something like this, but you would wear this for the evening.
Yeah.
Because it just makes you want to jingle your head.
That's right.
Which is great.
I mean, it complemented the shorter haircut that
because they had a very chic haircut here.
That's
and
right.
we've actually got a blouse there, haven't we?
Can I?
So no, just leave it there. That's fine because we'll pick that up on camera.
Okay.
But the that's a blouse from the same era.
Yes.
Because it's quite loose fitting, wasn't
Everything,
it? Whereas we've gone from
tight.
it was kind of 1920s was quite loose, and then we kind of got tighter and tighter, didn't we?
Well,
This feels incredibly comfortable.
It looks fabulous. You look stunning.
Thank you so much.
What the ladies used to do as well is they used to bind themselves so that they could get the dresses would just hang straight up and down on them. So I mean, we went. I have got underwear from the early 19th centuries right through, and some of the stuff. But when you get to the 20s, it's just silk and it just sort of hangs. Yes. And the cami knickers just.
It was just a very hangy period, but
beautiful.
Though. And again, materials, was that quite important with the era? Where did the materials sort of play a big part? Silks were 20s, were they?
Yeah, silks. Really, materials are important for all kinds of fashion. And you'll find that designers will seek out the unusual and rare pieces. But in those days, companies like Horrocks used to make these type of dresses with the lovely sort of floral patterns on them. And I have heard that they're actually starting to remanufacture the material because of the popularity. Yeah.
Because vintage has sort of sparked an interest now, Rachel. I mean, what do you feel, Rachel? Do you feel that vintage is sort of making a comeback?
It is. It kind of started in the 90s, where a lot of the students, sort out clothes that are a little bit different. And it's kind of spiraled because now you had Dawn Porter that does did a big show about it, and a lot of people with with blogs, with fashion blogs. There are a lot of fashion bloggers and vloggers out there that are using vintage to make themselves stand out.
And I mean, as a young lady, why do you think that is? Why do you think vintage has suddenly sort of come back again?
I think with like Nikki was saying, it's very, you know, mass produced nowadays, very throwaway society. And these pieces, they're handmade, they're made with love. There are a lot of memories in these pieces, and you know, it takes you back to a time that was maybe, you know, a romantic time of, you know, in the past, and there's a lot of it's very different. It's not a, you know, a mass produced, churned out, you know, kind of like, you know, sweatshops. There's been a lot of things in the press about how they treat the workers. You know, there's a lot of love and a lot of quality, a lot of care has been put into these clothes.
Yes, I think quality and care comes through. You can definitely see the quality, and also as well, it's quite bespoke, because often because they didn't mass produce, you would have a piece that you're not going to see somebody else walking down the street, you know, in the same piece.
That's right. What they used to do, they would make things like little collars, and they would change the whole dress. And there is
yes, and we've got Grace Kelly's sort of
Grace Kelly dress.
Just here, which is shimmering very nicely behind you there. So again, what era was that? That would have been 50s as well.
Yeah.
So again, that very elegant, very tight waist.
Yeah, very feminine.
Very feminine.
And fluffy kind of as well. You know, you were allowed to be a fluffy girl then.
And again, the gloves would go with that.
Absolutely. But you've got things like the land girl blouses.
Yes.
When in the wartime.
Yeah, show that's just behind you there.
Things changed greatly.
Yes, look at this. Was this the way that
it hanger.
What was the purpose of this?
Well, again,
has to be said.
if I can't really.
I like it.
Can I put it on you?
Why not? I've had hats on today.
Hats, do you mind? I'll open it here so we don't spoil your hair. What they would do is they would wear this with shorts or divided skirts or the corduroy trousers.
Yes.
But occasionally, if they needed to change a dress style. Excuse me.
No, that's
Are you
fine.
okay there?
Yes, that's fine.
They would just pop that over their shoulders like that. Loads of in varieties of colours.
And it would just.
That's it. And you would tie it at either side here.
You see?
Oh,
how wonderful.
Quite simple.
And again,
it would
very
change your dress.
And that you've got. Do you know? I think this sort of era was very versatile, wasn't it? And probably because it had to be, yes, exactly, because of the war.
That's right.
Women still wanted to be feminine and women, but we wanted to do something a bit different. So how easy is that? Because you could have just done this to quite a few different colour tops.
You can run them up quite easily as well, you know.
Yes.
But they're actually really rare to get hold of now.
And that's the other thing, isn't it? They are rare, aren't they?
It's just a problem because I get them in the shop and I look at them and I think, oh, I don't want them at all.
Oh, yes, that's
you know, so it's really weird.
Yes.
But
yeah.
But what do you do?
And I mean, when seamstress, you know, again, you said rare. Is there a lack of sort of seamstresses, I should say, in the UK now? I think
we're actually starting now. We're seeing more.
We've seen a huge sort of surge, haven't we?
More people crocheting, knitting.
Knitting's become
sewing,
very, very popular.
Crochet work is this again.
Yes.
This takes us up to the 1960s.
Let's have a look at this. I'll leave this on.
This is the 30s hat. This is the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we are.
If you look at this in the 60s, I mean.
Would this have just been all handmade?
Handmade, absolutely.
I mean, the work that's gone into that is just incredible.
When you look at that and you think, wow, it's a pair of trousers. I mean, you just...
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a pair of trousers.
We did a fashion show at Hartlebury Castle last week, and one of the girls wore this with nude underwear, and everybody went, oh!
But again, it's just wonderful. Yeah. But look at that waist.
I know, tiny, tiny.
Now, I've got to ask about the dress that we've got hanging up there.
Yes.
So just tell me about that dress.
Right. I got that dress and I looked at it and I played with it and I thought, this is a really odd dress because where the buttons are
yes, because you've got two buttons in the panel there.
When you look, I thought it was a pocket, but there's nothing. It's empty. It's void. And I thought, okay. And I waited and I looked and everybody I said, and they went, no, that's strange. Then a little old lady came into the shop and she said, oh, I had a dress like this. And I said, really? What is it? And she says, what do you mean, dear? And I said, well, why have you got the buttons? She says, oh my dear, she says, that was a maternity dress.
Oh, that's a maternity dress.
And it made sense because as they got bigger,
you could move the buttons. It makes perfect sense. Now that could make a comeback.
Obviously, I think what had happened though, I think what made it confusing was somebody has got a hold of that in the 60s.
Ah, yes.
And they've shortened
And
it.
they've shortened it.
Yeah, because when you look,
the
there's a
eras
very
were
large
changed.
hem.
Oh, I
So
see.
it actually,
Yeah.
but again, that's great because that's
Yes.
what vintage is all about.
Yes, it's just
Adopt and
changing
adapt.
things and versatile. And when you're wearing it, do you wear other sort of? Is there a particular era, Rachel, that you like?
It's all kinds of eras because you know in the 70s it was still very glamorous, in the 60s it was a bit
This
sassy.
is wearing. This is lovely to wear.
Yeah, it looks
I like
fab,
this.
yeah.
You can change your era with your mood sometimes because if you want to be elegant, you know, but classic, you go to the 50s or the 40s. It's all, and especially now, the 70s are coming back this winter. You've got caftans and the big felt hats.
Yes, yeah, big felt hats are very in fashion at the moment,
Yeah.
aren't they?
We've
Again,
got-
so
we've got a nice
it's
big
very
black
it's
one,
very
yeah.
sort of 70s. And again, if tell us about this piece behind.
Yeah, okay. I brought that particularly because it isn't actually any specific era, because it's a Frank Usher jacket, heavily beaded, so that's sort of from the 60s.
Again,
And
very fashionable at the moment.
very, and now
fashionable.
very fashionable. And then you've got the Palazzo Pants, which are pleated, like a pleated skirt, but they're actually
They're
trousers,
pants.
but they only come down to about there, which are, again, sort of 50s. So what happens, 40s, 50s? So what if you put the Palazzo Pants, the Frank Usher together,
Together, that makes an amazing combination.
et voila, you're into the 20s.
Yes,
Instantly.
yes.
And you can wear your cloche, you can wear whatever you want, however
So really,
you
you
feel.
can sort of would it be okay to mix and match? You know, the eras.
Absolutely.
Is that what you do, Rachel? Is
Yeah,
how do you
well,
do
especially
that?
modern with, you know,
Yes,
modern
because
with
you could put a vintage top, maybe with a modern pair of trousers or
Definitely.
a skirt or something like that. And what do your friends think about you when you go out, or are they into vintage as well as you?
No, actually they're not. They like the more modern stuff, but in a way I get a bit more positive attention because they're clean lines, very elegant lines. Instead of, you know, wearing something very scanty, you know, you get more appreciation. It's very empowering as well. You get other women coming up to you and saying, "You look fabulous," you know, and it
Yes.
makes you feel good. Yeah. Instead of the wrong kind of attention, you get the right kind of attention because people say, "Oh, you look amazing and elegant." It's
It's
the
just
right
such
kind of
a
attention.
wonderful thing. Now, interesting, because obviously we've got 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. What about our era, Nikki? Is there
Nowadays.
anything that in 50 years' time, there'd be somebody sitting here
doing this.
and doing this, and now we're in the 21st century. Are they going to view the clothes the same way as we're viewing these beautiful clothes?
I don't know, because if you consider all the fashion weeks that there is and how a lot of the fashion houses nowadays do off the peg, you know, they do the different ranges. I don't know if there will be a specific genre for this era.
Yes. I'm just interested to see, to ask,
Maybe-
what do you think, Rachel? Do you think
How
this
about-
is an era where people are going to look back and think,
Steampunk?
I would like to wear something from this
think
era?
steampunk?
Yeah, it's hard because nowadays we have such a mix. You know, you've got the 70s coming in, you know, and being, you know, reproduced in mainstream stores.
But it's been wonderful to meet you. Thank you so
Oh,
much,
thank
Nikki, and for
you,
bringing
thank
in
you.
all these beautiful clothes. And Rachel, thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you for
absolutely
having us.
gorgeous.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
So that's it for today's show. I might have to keep this. Thank you to my guests. We've got Steve Lawson, Adam, Nikki and Rachel, of course, for joining me on Cuppa TV. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Come back and see me very soon. Bye-bye.